The Shadows of Midnight Hollow. In the heart of a forgotten town named Midnight Hollow, an air of unease lingered beneath the moonlit sky. The townspeople spoke in hushed tones of the old mansion that stood at the edge of town, a place shrouded in mystery and darkness. Its decaying facade loomed over the landscape, casting an ominous shadow that seemed to stretch far beyond its physical boundaries. The legend, whispered through generations, recounted the tale of the mansion's former owner, a reclusive man named Edgar Blackwood. He was said to have dabbled in the forbidden arts, seeking knowledge and power beyond the realm of mortals. Whispers of dark rituals and sinister experiments swirled around his name, leaving a trail of fear and curiosity. On a fateful night, a group of curious souls led by the bold Amelia decided to venture into the mansion. Armed with flashlights and brimming with trepidation, they crossed the threshold into the realm of Edgar's forgotten abode. The entrance hall greeted them with an icy gust of wind, extinguishing their bravado and leaving them with a gnawing uncertainty. The wooden floorboards creaked beneath their feet, and the walls seemed to exude an oppressive weight. Amelia attempted to maintain her composure, her voice a shaky beacon of false courage. As they pressed forward, whispers seemed to slither through the air, murmurs of voices that were just beyond the edge of comprehension. The group exchanged nervous glances, their flashlights casting wavering beams of light, as if the very shadows themselves were conspiring against them. The mansion's layout seemed to shift, distorting their sense of direction, and echoing footsteps reverberated through the corridors. In their explorations, they stumbled upon a long-forgotten study. The room was cloaked in darkness, save for a single flickering candle that cast eerie, dancing shadows on the walls. The air felt dense, charged with an energy that seemed to tingle on their skin. Amelia's voice quivered as she attempted to break the silence. "There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just an old house." But the weight of the darkness seemed to bear down on them, punctuated by a sudden malevolent laughter that echoed from the shadows. The laughter was chilling, an unsettling symphony that seemed to emanate from every corner of the room. As the group exchanged panicked glances, the candle flame flickered and sputtered before extinguishing completely. The room plunged into a suffocating darkness, and a presence seemed to materialize in their midst. A figure clad in tattered garments, its face obscured by shadows, loomed before them. Amelia's courage wavered, and she attempted to retreat, only to find herself rooted to the spot. The figure's voice was a haunting whisper, a melange of voices that spoke in unison, weaving tales of torment and anguish. The room seemed to close in around them, the walls pulsating with a sinister rhythm. In a desperate bid for escape, the group surged toward the door, stumbling and tripping over unseen obstacles. As they burst out into the moonlit night, they were met with an oppressive silence, the mansion behind them settling into its slumber once more. The legend of Midnight Hollow's mansion had proven to be more than just a tale. The shadows that danced in the moonlight held secrets that defied explanation, and the apparition they encountered was a chilling reminder that some doors should never be opened. The group would forever carry the weight of that night, haunted by the phantom whispers and malevolent laughter that had seeped into their very souls, a testament to the darkness that resided within Midnight Hollow's heart. As the group fled from the ominous mansion, their hearts raced in sync with the pounding of their footsteps. The moon cast an eerie glow on the landscape, creating a stark contrast between the darkness of the mansion and the pale light of the night sky. Their breaths came in ragged gasps, and each step felt like a desperate attempt to distance themselves from the malevolent presence that lingered behind. Amelia's mind was a whirlwind of fear and confusion. What had they truly encountered in that accursed mansion? The figure, shrouded in shadows, seemed to be a manifestation of the stories they had heard, a being that defied the boundaries of the living and the dead. As they reached the heart of Midnight Hollow, the group found themselves in a small, dimly lit cafe. The townspeople who sat within were engrossed in quiet conversations, but as the group entered, an eerie silence fell upon the room. All eyes turned to them, and the whispers of hushed speculation filled the air. Amelia's friend, James, broke the silence, his voice trembling slightly. "Did you all see that thing back there?" Nods and murmurs of agreement rippled through the group. The townspeople exchanged knowing glances, their faces etched with a mix of sympathy and trepidation. The cafe's owner, an elderly woman named Agnes, approached them with a kind but weary smile. "Children, you've crossed paths with the shadow that haunts Hollow Manor, haven't you?" Agnes's voice was a mixture of empathy and resignation. Amelia stepped forward, her voice a mixture of fear and curiosity. "Who was that figure? What does it want?" Agnes sighed, her gaze distant as she recalled the past. "That figure, my dear, is the lingering spirit of Edgar Blackwood himself, a man who sought forbidden knowledge and power beyond human comprehension. He paid the price for his curiosity with his soul, and now he wanders the mansion, seeking something or someone." The group exchanged glances, the weight of the truth settling in their hearts. The legend of the mansion had been more than just a tale, and the horrors they had encountered were steeped in a history of darkness. Agnes continued, her voice soft but resolute. "You must leave Midnight Hollow, for the presence of that figure grows stronger as the moonless nights pass. Its power waxes with the absence of light, and it will not rest until it finds what it seeks." Amelia's group took in Agnes's words, realizing the gravity of their situation. They had unknowingly awakened a malevolent force, and its pursuit would not cease until it had achieved its purpose. With heavy hearts and a newfound determination, the group left Midnight Hollow behind. The shadows of the mansion continued to haunt their dreams, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the veil of reality. Years later, as the moonless nights persisted, the legend of Hollow Manor still echoed through the town's hushed conversations. And as the figure that was once Edgar Blackwood continued to roam the mansion's halls, the whispers of his sorrowful tale intertwined with the wind, serving as a chilling reminder that some stories are born from truth, and some shadows never truly fade away. The years rolled on, yet the memory of that fateful night in Midnight Hollow remained etched in the minds of the group who had dared to enter the foreboding mansion. Each member had gone their separate ways, building lives and careers, but the haunting whispers of the mansion's shadows continued to echo in their ears. Amelia had become a journalist, driven by an insatiable curiosity. Despite her success, a part of her remained tethered to the mysteries of that night. She couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the story than she had uncovered. One day, while working on an article about local legends, Amelia stumbled upon an old diary in her family's attic. The diary belonged to her grandmother, who had grown up in Midnight Hollow and had experienced strange occurrences herself. She began reading, her heart racing, as the words unveiled a deeper layer to the enigma. In the diary, her grandmother wrote of a hidden chamber within the mansion, a chamber that Edgar Blackwood had used to conduct his forbidden experiments. It was said that the chamber held the key to his insatiable thirst for power, and the darkness within it had torn a hole between the worlds, allowing malevolent spirits to cross over. Driven by a mix of trepidation and determination, Amelia returned to Midnight Hollow, drawn back to the mansion like a moth to a flame. The town had changed little, but the mansion's shadow still loomed, casting an unsettling pall over the landscape. As she entered the mansion once more, her flashlight's beam revealed the familiar grand foyer, the cobwebs, and the eerily swaying chandeliers. This time, however, she held a purpose: to uncover the truth hidden within the mansion's depths. Guided by her grandmother's diary, Amelia explored every corner, every forgotten room, until she stumbled upon a hidden door behind a bookshelf. The door led to a narrow, spiraling staircase that descended into darkness. She descended, her breath catching as she reached the bottom. Amelia found herself in a hidden chamber, its walls lined with arcane symbols and forbidden knowledge. In the center of the chamber stood an ancient, ornate mirror, a mirror that her grandmother's diary had mentioned. It was said that this mirror held the gateway between worlds, the source of the malevolent energy that still haunted the mansion. As Amelia gazed into the mirror, its surface rippled, and the room seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly force. Shadows danced and whispered, coalescing into the figure of Edgar Blackwood. His voice was a cacophony of pain and desperation as he recounted his quest for power and the terrible price he had paid. Touched by his tragic tale, Amelia knew what needed to be done. With unwavering resolve, she recited the words she had uncovered in her grandmother's diary: a spell to seal the rift between worlds, to banish the malevolent spirits that had plagued Midnight Hollow for generations. The chamber trembled, and the mirror's surface shattered, releasing a blinding light that consumed the room. When the light faded, the mansion felt different, lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. The malevolent energy had dissipated, and the whispers of the shadows grew faint. As Amelia emerged from the mansion, the first rays of dawn painted the sky in hues of gold and pink. The town of Midnight Hollow seemed to awaken with a renewed sense of peace. The legend of the mansion had finally found closure, and the memories of that fateful night would no longer torment the residents. Amelia stood before the mansion one last time, her heart at ease. The shadows that had once held dread now held a sense of melancholic relief. The story of Midnight Hollow had finally come full circle, and its secrets were at rest, buried within the echoes of the past. A sense of unity and triumph filled the air as the group held hands, their gaze fixed on the mansion. And as they turned to leave, the shadows of Midnight Hollow seemed to retreat, carried away by the gentle night breeze. The legend of the mansion was no longer one of fear, but of triumph, a story of friends who had faced the unknown and emerged stronger for it. The shadows that once held them captive had been transformed into a memory of resilience, a testament to the power of confronting one's fears and embracing the mysteries that life offers. As the stars twinkled above Midnight Hollow, a sense of peace settled over the town. The shadows had finally been laid to rest, their whispers now transformed into echoes of courage and unity that would resonate through generations to come.